it's just like the it's not there, right? It's all the guys in the shop and they're doing they're like I'm not gonna say make a bunch of, but they're making a bunch of racket.
Yeah, here's one that's 2 hours and 18 minutes long.
Yeah, I think I don't know if there's any marijuana or anything, but I think those guys are probably sitting around.
Here's a what the fact 877 views. That's pretty good.
Okay,
Good to be happy about that.
All right,
312 cool. Maris Enzo X.
Is it? What's that? Oh, is that a pedal?
Best, synth. That's all I can read.
All right, cool.
Anyway.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's Matt and Chris from Texas Toast Guitars, and it's time for our Thursday live thing. We didn't turn off the air compressor, did we? Would you mind?
No, and it's probably leaking.
It's probably leaking like hell, and yeah, it needs to get shut off, or we're not going to have the opportunity.
We don't shut them off during the morning things. I'm surprised we haven't.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the morning things, Chris. So all this week, you and I have been doing a quickie video at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and it's just kind of this week we're talking about the what's the best guitar you can get, and then we add like a certain amount of money, like for $100,000 or whatever it is. It's not that, but yeah.
So every day we increase the value. I thought it would get easier. It's gotten harder with each price increase.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not actually buying these guitars, I pretend like I'm buying these guitars, and the more money you spend, the more feature driven I am, or looks driven, or top end driven I am.
Yeah.
A cheap guitar, I'm willing to take just about anything, but today's was the hardest.
I got to tell you, the state of the industry is pretty grim in that $2,000 and under for new guitars.
$2,000. I don't want to say it doesn't get you a lot, but it might not get you what you want.
I when we first started this, I'm like, you should be able to go into Guitar Center with $2,000 and buy something really, really awesome. And the fact of the matter is that there's been like Brian said that like he found some stuff on Sweetwater but they were both Gibsons and they were both cool, but I don't think they were like, wow, that's like so much guitar that I don't need to get any more money out of my bank account.
Yeah. That some of the classic design guitars, Gibson, Fender, I want what I want. I want the hoochie top end, vintagey one.
Yeah.
Especially from those companies. I don't want any, modern or as few modern appointments as I can get. I want everything that I want.
Yeah.
And I'm unwilling to not get it.
So if you've got tomorrow free at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, I urge you to tune in and tell us what you think the best guitar you can get for any amount of money is. Now, we never said that this was going to be a commercial for TTG.
No.
But it kind of goes without saying that, like I'm going to tell you the one that I think is the best is going to be the one that we make. But if you don't know about us or whatever, but the funny thing is, like, I'm trying to imagine, like, the only thing I can think of is someone says, I have exactly $2,000, no more. And I'm going to spend it all on a guitar. What's the coolest thing? I'm like, it's not that neat. You could probably get something that you like the way it looked.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a pretty grim. It's pretty grim out there, dude. So anyway.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I have no idea what I'm going to pick for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about it. Something might pop into my head.
Yeah.
So new guitar, any price. I don't even know because I don't look at guitars that much.
That's just the thing.
Is this whole week has been a learning experience for me because I've spent a lot of time on Musician's Friend and Sweetwater and all of that. I'm going to go to Flipside. I'm just going to pick the most expensive guitar in the shop.
There you go. Done. That's the way to go.
It'll probably be a Heritage.
So Doug says he'd get a Challenger, and I mean, for $2,000, you can get a hell of a nice Challenger.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think we even have, like, right now you can get a maple top Challenger for under $2,000. Kind of like the one that Phil McKnight got, and that was cool. So, but yeah, we'll talk more about the Challenger and the Icon and some other stuff tomorrow. But I got to tell you, Chris, today has been one of them days.
A roller coaster of emotion.
Well, I mean, maybe not for you, but
no,
if I had to be put on the spot, I might say that it has been like that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Well, you kind of came in a little bummed out, I think, and yeah. You seemed pretty good yesterday.
I've been trying to keep as positive an attitude as I can, and bounce back and see.
And it's
Tazzy Tim just sent us a super chat and said, "My Friday mornings Aussie time is quickly becoming my favorite day of the week. TTG lady, then Dylan and Leslie. Cool day for me." Well, Tim, I am so glad to hear that. I'm glad that you wake up on, I guess it's Friday there, and you get to hang out with us, and that'd be super cool, man.
Yeah. Who wins the ball game tonight?
Oh yeah, that's what we want to know.
I always think that joke's funny.
So another thing that happened, and I don't know how to do this stuff, gang. So, but for everybody that has ever said, "Why don't you play your guitars on video?" I always say, well, it's hard to do because it's hard to get a guitar player to come in here and just sit there. Okay, go. And then, by the way, we're filming you, and a bunch of people are going to watch you and tell you how good or how not good they think you sound.
Or the opposite. Not a lot of people are going to watch.
Yeah.
Which is the way it works. But they'll still tell you.
Yeah. But today, Greg Koch was at Wildwood, and you know what he was playing?
I do. He was playing a Challenger.
That's right. So there's a short video of Greg Koch playing a Challenger at Wildwood today. I have it. I tried to post it on some stuff. I don't know if I did it or not, but when that guitar goes up for sale on our website, that video will be on there too, so people can shut up about.
We'll put it on. We'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll put it on our website.
Yeah.
We'll send it to your mother.
I'm just so tired of hearing people. Oh, let me hear a guitar that I don't have any intention of buying.
What we expect it to do, which is not garner a lot of views. It's a cool video.
It's cool.
It's really neat that he was playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Brian Duncan just sent us a super chat and says, "Ad free, baby." Dave asked me to do it. Hey, you know what, Chris? All of our live videos are ad free because we want you to be able to, especially the Thursday ones, because what I'd like for you to be able to do is like listen in the car and not have to get, interrupted by a bunch of jive commercials.
Yeah. Yeah. I spent some time this week listening to podcasts.
That's right.
And
on YouTube or
on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's just where I always am.
Yeah.
Is YouTube. And I do the ad-free thing. I pay
a
monthly subscription. But some of these podcasters are still doing ads in the middle of their show, their own ads.
Yep.
I was watching Steve-O, and he has, I think, 3 ads during.
There's a handful of videos that I watch, even like shorter format, well, not like an hour or 2 hours long. And there's always an ad for some jive, and I'm like, oh, I hate this guy's voice anyway. Now I have to listen to this dumb ad that he puts in there.
For something stupid.
Yeah. Something I'm never gonna do.
Steve-O was hawking sugarless cereal yesterday when I was listening to it. I'm like,
what's the point?
1, yuck, and 2, why do I have to listen to this?
Yeah.
But anyway, the rest of it was good.
So tomorrow you and I are going to Wildwood. We're taking some guitars and we're picking up some stuff, and we're going to hang out with those dudes for a little while.
Yep.
So today, Chris, I was actually listening to a video on the way in, and the question came up. I'm not going to tell you who asked the question, and I'm not going to tell you who answered the question, but it inspired me to ask you this question and for me to think about this question. Chris, if you had to go to work for another custom guitar builder, who would it be? Don't answer.
Okay, good, because I still don't have an answer. I thought about it.
And all of the caveats apply. It's not like they're not moving to Denver. You got to move. You got to go and you got to get a place. You got to do all that stuff, and you have to work at this other outfit. Okay. And I got to thinking about it, and my answer is the same as the guy who answered the question in the video I was watching today. And Chris, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I bet you that you would have guessed this. I bet you that you could name any guitar shop, any one of them, doesn't matter which one it is, I would get fired the first day.
I think most of them would wait until you came in the second day.
Yeah, they make me burn up on my gas.
Yeah.
Doug Santaniello sent us a super chat and says that Brian made him do it. So, I don't know if anybody else is buffering, but I don't see any issues on our end, guys. Sometimes the internet is good on our end, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes the internet's bad on your end, and sometimes it's not. So. Yeah, I don't know.
Having some weird internet issues at my house.
You know how much we
went out
pay?
last night, and I just upgraded to like the Hoochie. You know, we have fiber optic now in the neighborhood, and I'm like chatting with sweet chicks online, and that wasn't it. It was a friend of mine. But all of a sudden, none of my stuff works.
Yeah,
and because I live wherever my cell phone service isn't red hot.
Okay.
So I'm like trying to figure out what's going, and I finally just had to step away from all of it. So I went downstairs and played some music.
Yeah.
And went back up, and it was fine. But I was like,
when
heck, man?
When you do tax stuff, you start to look at like how much money you spend on things.
Oh yeah.
It's thousands of dollars that we spend on internet for this shop every year, and it's the best we can get. So I truly do cherish when you guys tell me the internet is bad here. I don't know what else I can do. So anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay.
We always hope for the best.
Joy says that it's all good and she's driving. So yeah.
All right.
Okay. So Paul says, why would you get fired on the first day, Matt? And the answer, Paul, is because I'm so opinionated and I'm so okay. I often say the one of the closest places that's to us here that I wouldn't necessarily have to buy a new house would be Steve at Maximum Guitars. Steve and I would butt heads almost immediately.
Yeah, even just getting in the door.
I like Steve, but but I know for a fact
you guys work way differently.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I don't even think I could. I don't even know that I would do well at Steve's.
No, probably not. And he's been trying to poach you for the last couple of months. So yeah.
Yeah, but what he wants to poach me for, I don't want to do. So yeah.
Dylan says, I choose Lucky Dog because Anthony is cool. The guitars are neat and Tennessee is beautiful. Yeah, I think I could actually live in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's a good one. Maybe I'll go work there.
Maybe you should. So if you went there, you'd be doing paint all day long, I think. Actually, I don't know how it works at Lucky Dog.
The funny thing about all of this is everybody thinks that that's what I do. Oh, Chris paints. It's one of the things I do.
It's one of the things, but I
want to do more. I would go insane if I was just the painter.
Well, and if you worked at Steve's, that's what you would do.
Oh, I know, because he told me that.
And if you worked at anywhere else that knew you from what your what your online presence is.
Yeah. I went. This is a long time ago. I used to have a home and a residential and commercial paint business. That's where I learned how to do all this stuff. And I went and I applied for a job at Home Depot, and they wanted to put me in the paint department. And I was like, that's the last thing I'm going to do is tell people how to do it. For one, the people that you have there now don't know how to do it. Two, I'm not going to be the guy that butts heads with all those guys.
Yeah.
Three, it's Home Depot. I don't want to work in the paint department. So, yeah, I'm like, can't I get away from? I can be the guy that doesn't know anything about plumbing at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Washers are over there.
No one else knows anything about
that's
plumbing.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Is why are we going to start putting the experts where they need to go now?
Brian says it's not you, it's me. Yeah, that's what you say when you. Yeah, that sounds like he's breaking up with us. So yeah, it's not you, it's me. Brian Duncan says that. Yeah.
About what?
I don't know. Anyway, probably the internet, but yeah. So and a lot of the custom shops that are like kind of my heroes, they're all gone. So I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And I know you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
Okay.
I think if I had to go to work for another custom shop or another guitar builder, and there was a job. Let's just say there's a job.
There's an opening.
Yeah, there's an opening.
Hey.
I think I would probably have to relocate to California, which I hate the idea of doing.
Yeah.
I hate the idea of California. But if we're just talking about like, the rest of my life has to change, I wouldn't be able to, so many other things. You know what? I'm taking it all back now. But I think that I would like to work at the Ibanez custom shop.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty cool shop.
Because there's a pin router there.
Yeah, they do a lot of old for as automated as Ibanez as a manufacturer is. The custom shop is the opposite.
Yeah, they have a CNC machine for inlay, and that's it.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, yeah. And it's been a while, but yeah. No one would let me work on the stuff that I want to work on.
Right.
So I would have to build a bunch of Ibanez guitars, which I guess would be fine.
You could hook me up with a really cool Iceman.
Sweet Iceman, yeah. So Ibanez probably still has quite a few. I think like ESP, Ibanez, they still have a lot of guys. They're still making really crazy stuff. You know what I mean? They're not nothing against the Fender custom shop or any of those guys, but they're locked into the thing. Well, we got to make Strats and we got to make Tellys. That's their, and why wouldn't they? But I think that at Ibanez and ESP, places like that, maybe not so much Ibanez, but you get to make stuff that is a little bit out there.
Yeah.
And you get to use tools that are a little more manual in nature, if that's still the same. But yeah, like there's no Hamer anymore. There's no BC Rich like there used to be anymore. So anyway, someone's paging me. Look how old I am. Someone's beeping me. But yeah, I think
need a quarter,
with the exception of like having to move to California. God, I didn't even think about that, but like I would die in California. I would hate living in California.
Yeah, where is that shop?
The Ibanez one? I don't know. But you know what? Like if Carlos Lopez from Castadosa said, "Hey, do you want to come work for me?" I'd be like, I would love to work with Carlos.
Oh yeah, that would be rad. And that was one that I thought of.
But I'd have to live in California. And I kind of think Riverside is cool. It's the last time I was there, it's sort of the underbelly of California. Like you can still get away with some stuff in Riverside that you maybe can't get away with in other places, but I don't know. But I couldn't live in California. Let's see what everyone else has to say, and that's going to give you some time to think about it too, Chris.
Well, you're going to tell me where I'm going to work. So,
Butch wants to know about what's on the wall. I have no idea what he's talking about. Dan wants to know where in California is the Ibanez custom shop. Dan, I don't know, but if you go back, Steve Vai had the 30th anniversary. Was it the 30th anniversary of his Jamm guitar? And it's been 6 or 8 years since they did that video. It's probably very different now. But there's a really neat video of a guy basically hand making that guitar.
Yeah, it was shocking. And we actually picked up some tips.
We did. Yeah. It was a very, very cool video. Check it out. Brian says he thinks it's in San Francisco. Lefty says, I think California is a nice place to look at. After that, I'm out. No, Lefty didn't say that. Sean said that. I'm getting my Lefty said California. Nope. Did that for years in the Navy, would not go back.
There's places that I would like maybe to live in California.
I love
none of those places.
Yeah.
have and actually I probably wouldn't. I don't know. If I was retired and I lived in California, that'd be okay.
That'd be a thing.
Because then I could live wherever I wanted.
Joey Dano Guitar says, yeah, once I went to Home Depot, asked a young employee for the electrolytic union, the plumbing department, and the young guy told me they don't carry those. It's sort of like saying, where do you keep Mojo Nixon? He don't work here. Paul says, looks like Ibanez Custom Shop is in LA. I think it used to be in PA. Post Angeles.
Yeah.
Palo Angeles.
Yeah.
Robbie F says, I would move to the Sierras or to the coast around Monterey, LA, Frisco, and the Valley. Not so much. Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
Eric says he haven't most Californians moved to Denver. Yeah, and Texas. So yeah, it's
yeah.
I don't there's so many goofy things about California I just don't think I could do. I love going there. I really like it.
Yeah, it's fun to go and it's fun to, but I mean, it's expensive. It's yeah.
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 I don't know if they have good pizza there. I already have to like travel 1,000 miles to get a good pizza. So yeah.
My whole family thought that I would end up in California at some point because I really like that.
It's surprising that you have
ideological, sun surf, and even though I get seasick, but I do like the weather and all of that. But I don't want to do it. I don't want to live there.
I'll go before you tell us where you would go to work if you had to.
Okay.
What do you think of my picks?
Yeah, I think they're good.
Did you like, were you like, nah, I don't think, Matt, that sounds kind of like you didn't think that one through or anything like that?
I mean, you could pretty much say anything right now and be like, okay, well.
Do you know of any?
You don't have to actually do it.
I understand, but yeah, the whole point of this exercise is not that you have to. Okay, for those of you wondering, as of right now, we're not going anywhere.
No.
Okay, so
that's not the idea. I think this is, you got this from somebody.
I got this from another video, and it was asking a guy who's way more famous than I am, way more influential than I am in a completely different industry.
Yeah.
Where he would go if he had to make custom stuff at some other place.
Okay.
So yeah, taxes up the wazoo. Mike Beckla says, "Are you sure Ibanez isn't in Kansas?" Okay, if Ibanez was in Kansas and I had to go to work at a custom shop, then that's a no-brainer.
Sure.
I actually like Kansas way more than I thought I would. Yeah, I do. I think there are parts of Kansas that I like way better than the parts of California.
Okay.
That I like.
Okay.
Because the older I get, the less I want to drive in traffic, and the less I want to put up with, jive tax nonsense, and the less I want to do, all that stuff. I just want to be left alone and make stuff. So anyway.
Cool. So who do you think I would go work for?
Oh, boo. Well, okay. I think that you would not go to work for Paul Reed Smith.
Correct.
I don't think you would go to work for Gibson. I think I'm going to say, I'm going to say it would be much easier for you to live in California than me to live in California.
That's probably true.
So I would guess the Fender Custom Shop.
Okay.
Or one of those offshoots from the Fender Custom Shop.
Okay.
Like Gretsch or Jackson or Charvel, or somebody like Carlos at Castadosa. I think you could pull that off like tomorrow. That would be a very easy thing for you to do. I think that it would be easy for you to work. I think it would be harder for you to work at a place like Cower Guitars.
I think so too, and I think any place where because I'd end up getting pigeonholed, and it doesn't matter what, whether it's paint or whatever it is. No. The other problem is I have worked for myself almost my entire life,
and that's really it, isn't it?
And the idea of having a lot of bosses freaks me out.
What about the idea of having somebody else take care of all the, you don't have to worry about, it's like, I don't have to deal with any of that. I don't have to deal with that jive. I don't have to deal with that guy.
Maybe.
I guess there's always that guy.
Yeah, there's always, I mean, whether it's that guy or it's that guy who is your boss or your coworker or whatever. Yeah, I mean, this whole conversation upsets me. It makes me kind of queasy.
Well, it kind of does. Now, Shark Air asks the wildly appropriate question, or states, you could move to China and make Eastmans. I think Shark Air is probably going to have to move to China because I think he's not going to be.
Thought about was, well, maybe You know, I could move. Maybe I could be a representative. I could be someplace that is not the United States. And yet, to be honest with you, I don't have an answer for this question.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, short term, sure, I'd love to go to Japan. I'd go to Taiwan. I'd go to Vietnam. I don't know how I feel about China. But you know, yeah, there are people that live in those places that represent U.S. companies and pay attention to all the ins and outs of stuff. And yeah, quality control. I could do quality control.
AJ of the North says working for
go ahead. Buying those burritos this morning, not speaking that language.
That's right. You could go to Mexico. You could work at
Spanish. Yeah.
Where's the Mexican vendor place?
Yeah, I used to know. I don't know anymore.
Well, let's go to the comment section and say that AJ of the North working for PRS and living in Del Mar, VA would be rad. I think you might find that working at PRS as just some guy walking in the door, which is where we would all go, by the way.
Yeah, I know which guy I want to be at PRS.
What was that?
The old guy sitting down, chipping sealer off of frets.
You probably have to work there for 25 years before you can do that.
Oh, I think I could get that job in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbie F says, I'm a proud, happy citizen of the People's Republic of Maryland. Another reason I couldn't go work at Paul Reed Smith. I would move to the Eastern Shore to work for PRS. Problem is Paul doesn't pay his IT professionals. Well, we're not talking about IT. We're talking about guitar makers. So yeah thanks for. Yeah. I wish there was a wrong button that I could push.
I forget what I saw. Wasn't it Cower who was posting jobs that pay more than he makes or something like that?
No, Doug is always whining about something.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny.
I love Doug, but he's always whining about something.
Basically working at Good Times.
Yeah.
For what they pay somebody or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Luckily, if the shop were to close tomorrow, I wouldn't necessarily have to work in the guitar industry.
Yeah.
I could do
work in the hamburger industry.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I could I got some skills there too. So
Dale Gribble, who I'm pretty sure used to be somebody else who used to be somebody else and somebody else, says work for Nags. It's the PRS version of Castadosa. Now, I'm going to take some umbrage with this. Okay. First of all, I don't know Joe Nags, but I've seen Joe's guitars and I really like them. I like Paul Reed Smith guitars and I like Fender guitars. And I know Carlos and I've played his guitars and I really like him. And I think Carlos is a cool dude. But if you think that PRS is in any way as big as Fender, you're sorely mistaken. And if you think that in any way Castadosa guitars is even remotely as big as Nags, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are. I think I see the point you're trying to make.
I think he's trying to be complimentary.
I absolutely do. But I think that is an apples to oranges kind of thing. That's like saying, well, if you worked at PRS and you start your own company, that's exactly the same as what Carlos did, and that's not what Carlos did.
No. It's funny because there's still an East Coast kind of thing and a West Coast kind of thing.
Yeah.
As far as guitars and design and build and all of that, which is fairly interesting.
There's a lot of people that work for Joe.
Yeah.
There are more people that work in human resources for Joe Nags than work at Castadosa Guitars.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway. All right.
To be honest, if this ended, I don't want to say it. Yeah.
You can say it. It's all right.
I would do something more like I don't know what I would do, but it would be more in line with what Carlos did. And I couldn't go and work for a big company unless it was, chief head shit.
Head shit.
Yeah.
Sean says, "Hey Matt, can you and Chris move to Iowa so I can work for you?" Now,
who said that?
Sean joined.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Sean,
No.
okay, I could see myself. I could move to Iowa, but then it would just be like picking up the shop and going there. The whole point of this is, I don't know if there's any custom guitar makers in Iowa that are big enough that they need somebody to do, to poorly designed guitars and and sand stuff all day and run a pin router and bellyache about it.
Like, what, you don't got nobody to make a mess for you? Yeah, this shop is awfully clean.
It sure is. I can fix that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Okay, now this is a good question. What would we have to do differently if we did work at any other custom shop in the world? I would have to clean way more.
Yeah, probably.
And way more often.
Well, yeah. I mean, what would we have to do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm a hard worker. I work pretty hard at stuff. I'm pretty self-motivated. I think I'm a joy to be around.
You are.
I think anybody would love having me as an employee. I'm probably wrong.
I know that I cannot say that. I am terrible and awful.
You've actually worked for other people though.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't worked for other people since I was 22 years old.
Yeah.
And that was in an industry that was a ton of fun. So
now Amanda asks a very good question. She says, would it make a difference in your choice if you were given major creative power to make changes? Now,
yeah, I mean, so if somebody called up and said, "Hey, Chris, come out here, fix this shit."
No. I think what she means is like, hey, you get to design whatever you want,
whatever it is. Yeah. Maybe as a short-term kind of thing, something like that would be okay. Like, could I move to California for a year? Yeah, I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Could I move there for 2 years? Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
For the rest of my life? No, probably not. Yeah. Same thing with overseas. Same thing with, moving back east. I think I would be affected by humidity more than I think I would at this point in my life. So moving back east might not be the best idea for me.
Yeah.
I remember when we went to Tennessee and we got out of the car, I was like, oh.
Dude, we went to Tennessee. We got out of the car in Kansas to get gas. And I'm like, it's probably good. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. But,
let me ask you this. What, you know what? I totally spaced it out. Good question, man.
Yeah, that's totally
that's
fine.
all you got? Okay.
I would have to agree.
Yeah. What about, could you go to work at a guitar building school? Now that's okay. Could you do that?
I could do that. Yeah. One of my favorite things is not actually doing anything and just telling other people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
I think that I would actually really like to go back to Roberto Venn.
Show them how to do it.
No. And like see what the new place is like.
Oh, okay.
For one thing. That would be something that I could actually just go do.
Right.
Another thing that I would like to do at Roberto Venn is do like a seminar or weekend thing or something that, like I taught there for, I don't know what I would teach, but
how to make a mess,
there you go. How to make a mess, how to
maximize your wood chips,
heating up a burrito with tools you might have.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And that, that's something I could probably con my way into that.
Yeah.
But I think I would also really enjoy I think I would enjoy teaching at a place like Roberto Venn. And I think I could live in Arizona.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I think that's something. The funny thing about this, and this is, usually when you think about, okay, I'm going to change course.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do, you always kind of go with the lowest common denominator. I'm going to go get a job at PRS.
Yeah.
Okay, where you're going to be sanding.
You're going to not
there's
like
there's other lanes that you can go into in the same industry, right?
Yeah.
It's still guitars, but now I'm gonna, teach people, or I'm gonna, Phil McKnight went from guitar store owner to kind of guitar emissaries. That's not a word. But
emissary.
Sure, let's go with that. But he's still in the same industry, but he's not doing the same stuff.
Doing something different,
and consultant.
Okay,
Ooh, that'd be good.
That'd be good.
Yeah, people.
Could you go to work
could call me up and say, hey, come check this out. We'll pay you a bunch of money, or we'll pay you very little money. Either way, I'll go. Looks good, guys.
Yeah. Keep
it up. And then I'll leave. And then
I think you'd have to do more than just say looks good. I mean, you'd have to look at it first.
Looks really good.
How about this? Could you work for Stuart McDonald and move to Ohio?
Not a fan of Ohio.
I don't know that I've ever spent a lot of. I know Sir David Dangerous lives in Ohio.
Oh yeah, love Ohio.
And Dave. I don't know anything about Ohio.
My family's all from Ohio.
Okay,
they all left as they ended up other places, and there was a point where my parents were offered a car dealership. Come back to Ohio, take over the car dealership, and they said, yeah, no. Okay, and it was mostly just weather based. So.
What about, so Paul says, why not go the acoustic route? Go to work for Collings or Taylor. Collings makes solid body guitars too.
Yeah, they do.
Collings could be are they in Texas? Does anybody know? All right. Dylan has a very excellent super chat, and I forgot all about this. He says, people are going to need to know how to cook hot dogs with an extension cord. In the apocalypse.
Does he actually know that I did that we did that?
I think he does. Yeah. I think he might have even been here for that.
I don't think he was. Brandon was here.
I know Brandon was here, and he was gonna,
he might have done it a couple of times.
I
think we saved that extension cord. Yeah, that was the most galvanized hot dog I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah, I think you need
once again, I was the guy that ate it.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing in our world.
Doug says that Dylan, we need a tutorial. There you go, Dylan. You can be the hot dog with the nail and the extension cord cooker guy.
Cook a vegetarian hot dog?
I don't see why not.
Nail?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Extension cord? That's the dumbest idea. I think I actually had a friend though that used to be like his afternoon snack. He'd get home from school, latchkey kid, no microwave, and he'd nail himself up a hot dog.
I don't know if you know this, but there was a basically it was a plastic 2 nails and a cord thing that they used to sell as a hot dog cooker.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was like that. I don't know if Ron Popeil did it or something, but yeah, you could electrocute a hot dog.
Electrocute a hot dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've done a lot of good stuff with heat guns and map gas. I actually made
heat gun is fun.
Heat gun is fun. Jello in the coffee maker of the lounge is one thing. You can also get things really, really cold in an industrial size air handler. That's a good way to go. Yeah, there's lots of good ways you can cook stuff. That was back in another life though. Yeah, so apparently Collings is in Austin, Texas. And you know what? I think I could live in Texas again, though I'm not 100% sure about the Austin area.
I think there might be some outlying.
And Dylan says he was here when we did that. So
was he?
Yeah.
So we must. Okay.
Yep. And
it was a top quality hot dog.
It was from the dollar store.
It was $1. Yeah.
So Brian says, is there a story about the shirt, Matt? I'm glad you asked, Brian, because there is a great story about the shirt. One of Chris's favorite bands is the Astronauts, and they're a local Colorado band.
They were from Boulder.
And they're from Boulder. And you actually got to play through one of the amps that they had. Yeah. And the Astronauts are, you guys, I think when I was with you guys in the Aqua Science, we played an astronaut song too.
Played a lot of astronaut songs, yeah.
And there you go.
There you go, Brian.
Thanks for asking. Yeah, that's a good question. AJ says this summer when the wife and kids are out of town, I'm cooking a bratwurst with a heat gun. Oh yeah, you can absolutely do that. Doug Bennett says Austin is a nightmare and getting worse. I live 45 minutes south of there and never go there. Crazy traffic and the city's a mess, growing way too fast. Yeah, that's really kind of the problem with
if you have to drive 45 minutes to get out of the nightmare,
maybe not. I don't know. Fortunately, we don't have to decide where we're going to go. We're going to stay right here as far as I know. Paul Hall sent us a super chat and says, love to see you visit Mile House and make a guitar with Paul Richards. Well, Paul, when you make as much money as I do, gallivanting off to Europe to that stuff sort of sounds like a bus driver holiday, doesn't it?
It really does.
Go somewhere on vacation to build guitars.
If there was, that's not really. It'd be fun to do. Not a vacation.
It would be fun to do, but I guess it wouldn't really be a vacation. I think too that Paul at Mile House drinks way more than I do.
Does he?
I think so. He curses way more.
Well, he does. He likes the F-bomb.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. And I think that's a great channel. I like that dude is cool.
He would change my speach patterns. Hanging out with that dude for like a week.
Yeah, probably.
It'd take me a couple months to get over that. But his videos are cool. Somebody just turned me on to him. And then I guess Doc was over there and visited him, and I was like, oh, that's how I know him. Okay. And I'm still not 100% sure. He built a Jazzmaster thing for a guy with a fabric flower top. It's the exact fabric that I built a Jazzmaster fabric top for myself 6 years ago. And
maybe he did it 7 years ago.
No, he just built it. And I'm like,
I don't know.
Okay. And whatever. Coincidences happen. Maybe he really liked it. Whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But I thought it came up on my feed, and I was like, how'd my guitar get over there? And I went, oh, it's not mine.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought you sent it somewhere.
No,
I really did.
No, mine's slightly different, but it's the same exact fabric.
Yeah.
So
I think it would be fun to go over and hang out with the guy. I also love the idea of doing what do they call it when you do like a video project with somebody else and you
like a collaboration.
Thank you. Yeah. I love the idea of doing that. The problem is there's just so little time for me to do collaboration videos, much less fly to Europe and do.
We have to keep the shop going because we need money to keep the shop going.
Yeah.
And you take a week off or whatever, and
yeah.
It's
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's a lot of work to make very little money making guitars.
It is. That's been my whole life. Yeah. It sure is fun. Making any money? No.
well, you see my new car out there, right?
Yeah, my 98. Yeah.
Hey,
I like to say that's my daily driver, but it's pretty much my only car. I have another car that's fun to drive.
You do. Yeah.
If this one broke, I'd be driving the fun to drive car all the time.
So speaking of keeping the shop open, Chris, I think it's time to pay some bills. So, gang, we have added a bunch of essential neck building workshops to the website, and there's more workshops coming for the remainder of the year. I don't know if you guys know this, but we've been working on just going through August for all year. And it is now April. So we needed to get some stuff out there that, let people.
We were talking about June. I'm like, it's right around the corner now.
Yeah. So, a lot of people have been asking, hey, when are you going to do more essential neck building? When are you going to do more, body construction video? When are you going to do another classic Fender? When are you going to do Les Paul Jr.? When are you going to do a BC Rich neck through? When are you going to do? All those things are coming. And I think they're going to be really cool, but we just started putting them up on the website now. So if you go to the website and look under the workshop area, it's going to kind of look like it's backward because I just got them up there. Okay. And they are, so they do look backwards. Okay. We'll get them fixed up tonight or tomorrow and they'll look in the right order, but you guys can read and you know what
the difference between
December and July. Yeah. Okay. So, those are up there, and there's a new one that I added, essential neck through, which is a 2-part, 3 days. 2 parts, 3 days each.
There you go.
Neck through guitar building, how to do the whole shooting match. So the first 3 days you do the we do what Brian and I are actually working on right now for the May workshop. Get everything ready. Then the last 3 days, if you sign up for the part 2, you get to glue wings on and shape the body and do all that stuff. And then all the wildly fun sanding to get everything ready for paint. So you'll have a guitar that is ready for paint when you leave, but it will be neck through and you will literally do everything. So that's kind of the thing with these essential neck building and essential, body construction, that kind of thing. Notice it's not essential body building because some nudnik would, send me a thing about Jocko protein powder or some other, thing that, I'm not going to do that, but yeah. You know what, Chris? It's a lot more horses' asses than there are horses. So anyway, but those workshops are all coming. In addition to that, there will be in 2025. Let me see if I can read it here. I think it's going to be Classic Jazzmaster and Jaguar, right?
Yep.
I think there's going to be a Classic BC Rich neck through workshop, and you'll be able to pick between a couple of Classic BC Riches.
3 bodies. Yeah. We'll see how that works out. Yeah.
And I get to decide what those bodies are. You don't get to decide.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But don't worry, I'll let you know when
they'll be the classic shapes. I mean, there's
and they're not going to be the
BC
C
shapes. Yeah. And there's classic BC Rich shapes. Yeah.
There will be another Build a Classic Fender workshop, which I still think is one of the most fun ones. And there will be a Classic Les Paul Jr. workshop. Before you ask, I think it's probably going to be you could make a single cut or a double cut. I think those are all, and that particular one and the neck through BC Rich, there's going to be a lot of neck shaping that you get to do. Most of it. The Classic Fenders are, I think these are all going to be wood centric workshops, right?
Yeah.
So kind of the opposite of what we've been doing, where you show up and everything's mostly done, and then you get to eat cannolis or whatever. So Terry says that Stumac is in Athens, Ohio, and it's a quaint little city in a southern Ohio, not far from West Virginia. That sounds like a pretty neat thing. AJ of the North says sounds like a tax write-off. I think he's thinking about this the trip to go to hang out with Miles guitar shop. AJ, I understand that you got to spend money to make money. And I hope that you understand that you got to have money to spend money to make money. So, yeah. Tax write-offs are kind of
you got to wait a little while.
You got to wait a while. Let's see. AJ of the North says, how much is the domestic shipping on the Super Sunday driver behind you? Well, it depends on where you are. I mean, it's probably not going to be more than 60 or 70 bucks. But if you buy the red Super Sunday driver, it'll automatically tack on for a case and shipping.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. And automatically tacks on 140 bucks, which gets you a case, shipping, the shipping box, all the stuff like that, and the guitar and all that, and a bunch of stickers.
It's basically free shipping because the gig bag that we ship them is 130 bucks now.
Yeah.
135. So $5 shipping.
We haven't raised prices on shipping in case since 2022.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But because of the software that we use, it's just the easier way to do it. So yeah, and sometimes every once in a while somebody wants to come by and pick it up.
That's the thing too.
So so you don't want to do free shipping.
Yeah.
And then they go, "Oh, can I get more
money?" Or they say, "Oh, I don't want the case." They gotta ship with a case.
Yeah, it has to have.
They gotta ship with a case.
Ask me why.
Yeah.
So
Joy says it would be $1,650 with tax and shipping. So and that includes a case and it's ready to go. And so
and it's a very, very nice bag. Like I said, it's 140 $40, $130 bag.
Let's talk about the guitar too.
Yeah. Well,
So what do you think of that? I mean, that guitar is rad.
Well, yeah, I like it. And the color on screen, once again, doesn't do it justice. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And it's real candy apple red.
So how do you do that? What makes it okay? Tell everybody why you are like, there's no candy apple pink or whatever. Yeah.
Well, so it's not candy apple red. It's candy apple red.
Okay.
They're talking about the color of an apple.
Yeah.
Apple red.
There could be candy apple green.
There can be. Yeah. There could be candy apple brown because apples go brown. But anyway, so the way that you do it is white base coat, silver base coat, or gold base coat, depending on how
whether you're doing brown or green or red.
how poppy you want the red. I think the traditional way was gold.
Okay, that's what that is. Right?
Yeah, this is gold. Yeah, so white, gold, and then you start spraying candy red over the top of that
until you get it to look how you want.
Yeah, And this one is one's fairly vintage candy apple red. Maybe the way I should say it like candy apple red.
Hey, did somebody just buy that?
So anyway, yeah, it's a cool color, and it was the first time I'd ever done it, and I've known about it for a long time. But it was super fun to watch it go from gold to kind of a reddish gold, orange. Because you put gold and red together, yellow and red make orange.
Yeah.
And then you keep going, and it got redder and redder.
Yeah.
So so that was fun, and it looks killer. It's like, oh, this is why candy apple red is
so neat.
So neat, yeah, and not just red metallic.
Now, the other thing about it is it you can use a firm to pay for. I don't know if it's still available or not. So.
But anyway, so that was fun.
But you can use a firm to pay for it. You can, and you can get it right away. It'll ship tomorrow. We've got cases and boxes. It's ready to go. So somebody also wants to know what's up with the gold one on the end. That's not up on the website yet.
It's not,
but it will be tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, and that guitar is cool. That was another one that we made in the class.
Unless the guys at Wild would buy it tomorrow.
Yeah, that might be a thing.
Yeah.
And that's another one that we made during the class. I wound the pickups. It's cool. It plays great. I took it home, played it a little bit the last couple nights.
You want to show it off in case we don't have time for
I don't really
tomorrow?
want to.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, heck with it. Yeah,
that's so far away.
Okay, yeah. So we've already showed this a couple times, and
so we showed it last Friday, but it wasn't complete.
Oh, that's
I
right.
finished it up earlier this week.
We didn't have all the bits for it or something.
Yeah, the whole reason for this guitar is I wound pickups. I wound 2 sets of pickups, basically the same with different magnets, and I wanted to hear the difference between them. And I was gonna, just swap pick guards with all the stuff wired up.
Okay.
And then this class came up, and I was like, "Ooh, can we build another guitar? I have a pick guard.
It's easy."
So yeah, so that's what we did. So
this is now this is not a Maverick.
No.
For those of you wondering what exactly a Maverick is a guitar that has a finish blem, and the red Super Sunday Driver has a small finish blem that happened like I didn't notice until like 3:00 in the afternoon on Friday, and I was
we still don't know how it happened, but it did happen.
So, but this one here is essentially perfect in every way, right? This is the 57 contour body that we reverse engineered from Jamm's.
Yep. This is a very 60s-esque Strat at this point.
So what do you got going on with the paint and everything?
So this was something kind of new. Black base coat, thinned out gold top coat. So it's not gold, but it's pretty darn gold. It looks slightly, it's not as gold as it looks on at least our computer screen, but it's a very cool color.
I really dig it. I think it's super cool.
Very vintage appointments, Kluson tuners, Kluson bridge. That's actually really nice. It's got a big heavy block in it. And then very, very early 60s wound pickups.
Okay.
That I thought sounded great. I was really happy with them.
Don says gold Stradish guitar screams Dick Dale to me.
A little bit.
And then he put G at the end, maybe for gold.
I think that's a typo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's a cool guitar, and I like it a lot. I took it home and I played it with the Strat that I put the other pickups in. These have Alnico 5 magnets. The other one has Alnico 2s.
Mm-hmm.
They're wound basically the same, and they both sounded great. I still don't know which I like better.
Joy is reminding everyone that it's not a bronze; it's actually gold in real life. So it's more gold than bronze in real life.
And it's not as gold as it looks there.
Yep.
That looks really gold.
Brian Mill, there you go. In different lights, it looks like brown or gold or green or Brian says he likes the gold one. Lefty says that's a cool gold. I don't like gold top LPs, but that gold is so much better. If you paint a Strat in the same gold as on a gold top Les Paul, it doesn't look the same because it's a Strat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what were we gonna say?
This gold, if anyway, it's gold.
Okay, I think it's really cool.
It's a neat guitar. Yeah, I dig it.
I think it's very, very cool. Okay. Well, gang, it's just about time for us to call it a night, and I'm going to encourage you to go over to Dylan's page, Dylan Talks Tone, and hang out with him. He's going to basically talk about stuff. If you want to geek out about guitar stuff, that's a great place to go. Dylan will geek out with you guys about guitar stuff. And then if you want to geek out about pen stuff or pocket knife stuff or Weimaraners or whatever, after he's done, he has an open chat where you can talk about all kinds of other good stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if they talk about dogs or I don't know what they talk about, but anyway. So guys, thanks for hanging out with us. I want you to go over to Dylan's page and say, hey, from us to Dylan and his lovely wife, Leslie. I believe Dylan's going to come out in June.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that would be a fun thing. He's going to come out to Ike's,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Don't forget, we have 2 tables. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, so we will see you.
No guitars.
That's right. Well, you never know what we're going to have.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys, we will see you some point soon. Tazzy Tim, thank you for the final super chat. And we'll see you later, too. We may or may not be on tomorrow, Dan, but we will definitely be back on Sunday. There will also be a Patreon video coming this weekend. So, guys, we will talk to you soon. Have a great night, everybody.